All right. We're going to get started today. For those of you guys who don't know me, I am Melody Morrow. I'm somewhere in your upline. And we're super excited to share with you all today our tips for social media. Actually, Kelsey's going to share her tips for social media, and then talk to you guys about the systems that we have in place as a company and as a team that really set you up for success. We want to make sure that you're plugged into those systems because that's how you're going to win in this business. But Kelsey's going to share first. If you want to kick it off, go for it, girl.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks everybody for being here today. I know Sundays can be family days and can be busy, so we really value the intent that you're putting into your business by showing up, and we will try to keep this short and sweet and informative. So I love Melody. She's so sweet to call me a social media genius. I definitely don't feel that way all the time, and if you're on my team page, you will see that I share back before I started doing direct sales. I mean, I would put a post up similar to a post I put today, and it would get like one like or one comment. And now sometimes it's 200, 300 comments, and that is really from trial and error, being willing to be coachable, learning things, and just really, I still have posts all the time that are duds, and I just sometimes take them down and try again. Social media is constantly changing, and so it's just really refreshing yourself on how it's working, how you can continue to bring value to the people in your life and build relationships using this tool that we have. So I want to start with the 5 don'ts. So here's 5 don'ts that I try to stick to. The first one is don't share, stop sharing. People want to know you, not the cats that you think are super funny, though that can be really funny. And sometimes I find something that I have to share. So it's not like I never share things, but make sure that your feed is you, not just a version of what you think is funny or valuable that other people are sharing. If you see a post that you absolutely love and want to share, try to add in little snippets and pieces of who you are instead of just clicking share. Try to turn it into why you love that, because really the whole goal is for your community of friends and family to get to know who you are. And they're not going to do that. Facebook also sees that when you just keep clicking share, share, share as, okay, they don't have a ton of valuable content and personal content, and maybe they're, a spam bot, maybe they're not a real person. So they're going to ding you for doing that and show your content less to those in your feed. And you don't want that. So my first don't is don't use shares as your primary way of using social media. Number 2, don't add that link. So not only does adding your link in your post show up to Facebook like you're an ad and they're going to be less likely to show it to more people, but also for me personally, if I'm scrolling Facebook and I see, a link, I usually am much quicker to just keep on scrolling by. So you are going to get much more visibility and your posts are going to go further if you keep that link out, keep your posts personal, and that way you're going to naturally grow interest and people are going to ask you for that link. That is the best way, and the time to give that link is when somebody asks you. You're having the conversation, you're going back and forth, and then they're going to say, hey, how do I get that? How do I get that CBD oil? That seems really amazing. We've talked about it for a while. And that's a great place to give it to them at that point. All right, number 3, my third don't is don't leave them hanging. Okay, so you put up an awesome post, it's fantastic, you're getting engagement, and then that's it. People are commenting, and it doesn't really go any further. It doesn't matter if it's a business post. It doesn't matter if it's a family post. It doesn't matter if it's a recipe. If people are commenting, engage back and forth with them. Try to comment on every single comment that you are getting on your posts. Extra points if you can get that person to respond back to you. So if you can add a question in, if somebody says, hey, I love this picture of your family. Oh, thank you so much. How are you guys doing? I saw you were just at the apple orchard. How was it? I've been meaning to go there. If you can get that back and forth going, not only does it just build your relationship naturally with that person, but Facebook goes, oh, they're a real person creating relationships. So you're going to get more shown more in people's feeds because Facebook knows that you are not a spam bot. So that is a really, really good thing. Now, that doesn't mean that I try to respond to the first 5 or 10 comments, especially if they come in right away. I try to respond right then. But sometimes, if there's 100 comments, especially those last 20, I might not get to that day. But that's okay because if I go start responding to all those the next day or a few days later, it's going to bump that back. In fact, I just did this. I went through and I was like, you know what? I haven't done this for my last few posts. I went back, I started engaging with people, and suddenly new people were liking those posts again. So it kind of bumps your post back into people's feeds. My next the fourth don't is don't overpost. 3 to 4 times a day max you should be posting, with 1 or 2 a day kind of being the sweet spot that you're trying to hit. You want to be consistent, but you don't want to be omnipresent. You don't want somebody who's considering being an affiliate on your team, watching what you're doing, watching you post 7 times a day, 3 times about business, and go, whoa, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do that if I join. I want to be myself on my feed. So you want duplication. You want people to look at what you're doing and want it to be attractive. So be yourself. Don't overpost. Don't spam. All right, our 5th don't is don't post divisive content. This is kind of a tricky one because yes, you want to be real and you want to be you. You want to be vulnerable, so it doesn't mean be positive all the time, but if you're constantly negative or harping on something or someone, people are just naturally going to start to hide you or unfollow you or delete you. There's enough negativity out there. We get a chance through social media to be light, to be positivity, to give value. So try to find that balance between showing the real you, so that doesn't mean sugarcoating it, but not creating division through your social media feed. Okay, so those are my 5 don'ts. Here are my 5 do's. What do I do? Be vulnerable. Be you. People want to know who you are. Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media can be really surface friendships. We get to know a glimpse, we get to know the highlight reel of our friends, but more and more when they're doing studying, people are pretty turned off by just seeing your highlight reel. They really want to know you. They want to know you when your hair's looking crazy. They want to know you that you struggled and then you triumph. People are cheering for you and you don't give them the ability to do that if they don't see your full story, the good and the bad. So don't be afraid to share the real you and get vulnerable.
Get away.
Number 2 do is give value. If the only thing you give value to is something you make money from, you are not going to become the trusted voice in their community. You're not going to be the person that they look to. So we all have knowledge and skills about a variety of things. Maybe you're a super master baker. So go live when you are baking a cake and show them how you do it. Maybe your grandma passed down like the best cookie recipe. Go live and share what makes it so special that she bake with you. Tell them that story. Get people engaged in who you are and your knowledge. And then when you share tips on CBD or hemp or any of that, they're already following you. They're trusting you because you've been sharing valuable content. Maybe you're the best knitter. Share tips about knitting. If there's a sale at your yarn store, share. People want to know those things and why it means so much to you. If you know how to make, Joni was an awesome example of this. She knows how to make elderberry syrup. She went live and shared that. That's something I've always kind of thought maybe I should do that for my family. I watched that, got to know what is elderberry syrup, how do you make it, why make it instead of get it at the store. She gave value. So now when I think Joni, I think she's got this knowledge on natural things. So create yourself as that person who has value to give. Okay, my 3rd do, spread out your posts. And I just recently learned this one. Your first post is going to be the most important post of the day because it shows up in more feeds by a long shot than any other post that you're going to post that day. So if you have like a a fantastic post. Let it be your first one of the day. That doesn't mean it has to be in the morning. Maybe you don't post till night. That's okay. And then spread it out. If you're going to do another post, try to wait 6 or 9 hours before you post again, just to make sure that both are being seen. My fourth do is get into inboxes. Yes, just messaging to build relationships naturally within your communities and not business related is important. But you also can do this really easy and quick. I know a lot of you are busy. You have full-time jobs. You have kids. Get into people's stories and use those little emoticons. Give them a heart. Give them a like. Give them a shocked face, because that goes into their inbox. And once you're in each other's inbox, Facebook is more likely to show you their content, and you're going to see their stuff and they're going to see your stuff. So use those stories both for yourself and for responding to other people. And then my last do is continue to grow your community. I keep hearing that 2,500 is the magic sweet spot number for when you really start to get more views, community, and notice a difference in your business. But if you are sitting at 400 friends, don't go, oh, I don't just want to add these people I don't know. We don't want to be spammy and cold message or cold add random people, but we can continue to grow out both our offline and our online friendships and community and add those people in. So get into new groups. If you're a baker, get into some awesome baking groups. If you're a knitter, get into those groups. If you are an awesome tech person, get into those groups. Create value within those groups, create real relationships and friends, and continue to grow your online community. So those are my 5 do's and 5 don'ts of social media. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments or send me a PM and we can chat about that.
I actually wanted to
go ahead.
See if you would address this, the difference between the story feed and, because the story feed is new, right?
Yep.
And it is supposedly the wave of the future. So you can, will you address that? Because you use your story feature quite a bit.
Yes, I love to use my story feature. And another tip I've given before is don't have the same content. Now, if you have one post that's really incredible, it's okay to have it in both your regular feed and your stories feed, but try to have it different content, because if I'm seeing, I'm scrolling through my feed and I see somebody's and then I go to their stories and it's the same thing, I just really quickly click out of there. I'm like, I've already seen that. I don't need to see that. So try to put different things in your stories than you're putting on your normal Facebook or Instagram feed. And it can be anything from like, oh, look, here's me making my coffee. Like I'll do a boomerang of my coffee for the day, mixing it up, showing people how I make it. So you're offering value again. Your kids, your drive. You can do like a series of videos on you doing something. It doesn't, just a few things. I try to have a quote, have things up there. I try to put like a funny quote up at least once a day, because I know that if I put something that's going to make people laugh, I'm more likely to get those little laughs in my inbox. And then again, that's opening up that relationship. So stories really, really are incredibly helpful. And I've noticed that we first saw stories on Instagram and I used them there. And then I noticed when Facebook started, there was like only 5 or 6 people using them and you wouldn't get very many views. And suddenly I'm seeing like hundreds of people are seeing my Facebook stories and I'm getting a lot more responses that way. So that is something that Facebook has said that is kind of the next wave. So make sure you're utilizing your stories. So that was an awesome question. All right, I want to talk really quickly about the app. So I'm going to see if I can screen share here. If you don't know, there is a My Daily Choice app on your phone. I'm going to grab it here. I'm going to be, let's see here. Okay, so this is the app. I don't know if you guys can see this. It does give you your team, where your team is at. It tells you where your tree volume is, your enrollments are. It has the leaderboard. But one of the nice features that you can use is the ability to send videos, graphics, and PDFs. So this is really handy because, again, we want to be duplicatable. And when we all join, a lot of our team is growing and new. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know everything about CBD or the commission plan or any of that. We're all still learning. So, and again, if you know everything, if somebody asks you about CBD and you send back this huge message, like for me, I would be like, well, I'll never know that much about CBD. Like I'll never, so that wouldn't be something that would attract me to the business, but you can use the app. Okay, let me see if I can share here. I'm going to share screen too. Can you guys see my screen? Melody, can you see that with the app there? Okay, so you have your replicated websites up on the top there circled. So if somebody asks for your preferred customer site, there it is. You just send it. If somebody asks you, in fact, I just had this happen right before I got on this call. Somebody said, hey, I don't really know anything about CBD. Can you let me know? So I just clicked send on this HempWorks product video, and I just added a little text of my own. I said, absolutely, here's a little video about what it is. I use the 500 peppermint or cinnamon, and that's what I recommend to most people. What are you thinking about using it for? So now that's in there. She's got the video. She knows I don't need to be the expert because I've got the video there, and then that will create some dialogue back and forth. And if you send this via text, I don't often send it via text. I send it via Facebook messages most often, but a friend of mine sends it via text, and then it tells her when people watch them and how much they've watched. So that's a pretty cool feature. So you can know if you're sending something to somebody, you can check back in and say, hey, I saw that you watched that. What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So it really gives you a natural ability to follow up with people. There's also images of both the sprays and the oils. There's PDFs, so there's the compensation plan PDF, there's compliance, so if somebody on your team is looking for that, 10 reasons for HempWorks, there's tons of reasons that you should be using this to make your job easier. If you can shoot this over to somebody, it's going to save you time, it's going to make you look more duplicatable, which is going to attract people to your team. And it's really a win. I will tell you that some of us have had to pay for the app, and some of us have not. I'm not really sure if it's based on phones or what the reason is for that, but every single person who's had to pay for it has told me they 100% think it's worth it. So I'm just throwing that out there. Does anybody have any questions on either of those before I turn it over?
So if you have to pay for it or don't, did you have to pay for it?
I did not. I have an Android. I don't know if that's why, but I believe it's
downloaded it and immediately were able to get access.
Yep. It asked for info. I plugged it in and it's given it to me and never asked me to pay.
Yeah, because normally you go into the back office and you purchase the app.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe somebody that's done that. I actually am not using the app, so this is all really interesting information to me. But maybe somebody that is paying for it can share if they had an iPhone and how that worked. There's some questions here. Oh, Kelly said she didn't pay. She had an Android here too. So maybe that's an advantage to having an Android over an iPhone. I don't know.
That could be. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here. All right. I believe, is it Katie that's next up?
I'm going to talk just for a second about what we're going to move into next. Thank you so much, Kelsey. That was awesome information. And I know that for so many of us, we've made lots of mistakes on social media, but it's constantly changing as well, and the way the algorithms work and everything. I know for me, and Kelsey too has recently started a social media coaching program that we have found to be incredibly helpful. It's called Social CEO. So if anybody wants any of that information, it is excellent and really outlines more specifics that people can utilize and learn about to maximize their time on social media. But the next thing we wanted to talk about is really systems. One of the things that impressed me so much about this company when I came in was the systems that were in place. Systems are key for duplication. And many of you guys have heard Kristen and Travis's story. They are our super affiliates at the top of the company. And if you haven't heard their story, you should. But they have gone above and beyond for their entire team to put things in place for us so that we can succeed. So I want to make sure that our whole team knows about these things, the things that are our company has put in place, and then also that our team has put in place. So I'm going to actually give you a quick overview of what we've got, and then I'm going to turn it over to Katie, and she's going to share some more specifics about our pre-enrollee system, because that is one of the things the company has in place that is just incredibly powerful. But I'm going to screen share really quick right here. Can you guys see that? Yes? Okay. So a lot of you guys know that Kristen and Travis run an event, and if you don't know this, you need to know this. Every single Tuesday evening, Kristen and Travis jump online, and they have an event where they talk about CBD oil, the benefits, how things work, how the products work, and they basically can be utilized to sell the products for you. So you don't have to come into this business feeling like you need to know everything. You don't. You have somebody else that's been doing this for a while that can teach it to all of the people that you want to introduce the product to. This is huge, okay, to use this tool. I know that it's very tempting to reinvent the wheel and make it bigger and better and do different things. As we get started, we have our own creative ideas, and I don't want to suppress those ideas, but I will tell you the duplication is in using the systems that we already have in place. So on Tuesdays, we have the Rockstar Party, and on Thursday, we have what is called Cutoff Day. So this is a program that the company put in place for us that allows us to plug in somebody's email address and give them a peek at both information on the products and information on the business. And it locks their spot in on our teams while they're taking a look. And Katie's going to go into more detail about that. But basically, starting this next week, we, the leaders on our team, are rolling out a system for power hours that will complement the systems that we already have in place for our teams. What we are finding is that some people feel they get plugged in and then they're like, we don't know exactly where to start. What's step 1, step 2, step 3? Simplify it for us. So what we're going to do is we are going to have set times that are scheduled to work our businesses, and we're going to show you what you need to do during that hour, step by step, and we're going to walk alongside of you and do it with you. And the goal of this is really to create a culture of consistency within our teams, because we need to show up for our businesses every day if we want to move them forward. And when you are self-employed, sometimes that's hard to do, to show up for your business every day when you aren't exactly sure what to do with your time. And so we're just going to kind of give you an overview to help you manage your time and actually be working income producing activities instead of just sitting at your computer scrolling through Facebook and being like, I feel like I should be working, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing. So I am going to share this image, and Kelsey will share this image in her team page too. But we're going to ask you guys that y'all plug these times into your calendar. If these times do not work for you, do not worry. Whatever we're going to give as action steps in those power hours, we will share with our team. And many times we'll probably have a replay available for you as well. But I just wanted to kind of give you that quick overview. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are going to be power hours. And during those times, we're going to give you the action steps that plug you in to utilizing the Rockstar Party and utilizing the pre-enrollee system and closing people on the cutoff day, okay? And then, of course, every Sunday we have our training huddle, which is what we've got going on right now. But so I hope that's helpful. I know some people maybe are like, I don't even know how to find the Rockstar Party. If that is you, I want you to go subscribe right now to Roxy Bot. Roxy Bot is an auto, what would you even call it? It's basically an automatic chat message that's sent out from our team leaders that give announcements. And when you subscribe to Roxy Bot, you will get notified of the link for our weekly parties. Those are normally found, the events are found in the Rockstars page, which is Kristen and Travis's page, but you can also get it directly in your inbox by signing up for Roxy Bot. So I would encourage you guys to do this. And I know Travis and Kristen have a huge system coming out that will also be automatically messaged out on Messenger coming up starting next month. And so this will kind of run alongside of what we're doing with the power hours. Whatever they're sharing, we will kind of match that in what we're doing in our power hours. So if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to ask. Did that make sense all? Kelsey, do you feel like that there's anything that needs clarification? I'm going to go ahead and have, if y'all have any questions about that, put that in the chat. But I'm going to turn this over to Katie right now, and she's going to share a little bit more about how our pre-enrollee system works and walk you guys through how to use it. It works, guys, because it gives that sense of the fear of missing out to the people to allow you to close them instead of just keep them sitting on the fence. People that are interested sitting on the fence for months at a time. So Katie, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Okay.
All right,
awesome.
Go for it, girl.
Great. Can everyone hear me okay? We're good? Okay, awesome. So the pre-enrollee system is incredible. Hopefully you're using it. If you're not, start using it after today, after we talk about it. But it's basically a really amazing funnel that the company has set up for us, and they're doing a lot of work for us. So first off, let me go ahead and share my screen and show you where you get to it. Okay, so everyone has their own link, and you can get that from your back office. I'm going to show you where in your back office. Over here in the links, you have the My Website tab. And if you scroll down, you will find the BizOp site. It's going to be slow to load. The BizOp site for HempWorks, and that is tied to you. So you want to get yours. Here's mine right here, hempworksbizop.com/my username, so my name. And this is the link you want to share with people, or you can just use this yourself if you get their email address from them. But this is what the page looks like once you get in there. All they have to do is put their name and first and last name and their email and phone number if they want to. Okay, so super easy to get plugged in, and then they'll get an email that will explain more about how to log in. But just to show you, they actually log in the same place we log in. So this is where you would go to log in as an affiliate. But if you click over here on the side where it says pre-enrollee, they just put their email address in that they gave you or that they put in themselves, and they can get in there and look at things. My mom is actually pre-enrolled, so I'm going to put her in a second, and then we will look at what it looks like. Okay, before we get into that, I will really quick just tell you a few features. So this has a lot of benefits. It has a lot of benefits for the person that's considering the business, and then obviously a lot of benefit for you. But the way that this works is they put their email address in, and it locks their place in your tree. So while they're considering the business, there's actually people being placed underneath them. So this isn't like a free team. It does play into the piece. So if we're to would be on their binary underneath them. What's here so I don't. Awesome. So the pre-enrollee system works is the person has the longest amount of time if they to get in the pre-enrollee on the cutoff Thursday, and you can see here clearly on the screen this is counting down. So once they get in there, there's people being added that whole time. At the end of that Thursday, then that is their spot in your tree. If they decide not to join or they're still not sure, anyone that does join will leapfrog over them. They still kind of stay in the rank. Like if they were 1 out of 10 and the third and fifth person joined, they would jump over for one but move down together. So they don't totally lose their spot, but they're definitely going to have people jump over them. So it is motivating. Like Melody said, you want to keep those people below you. So it's a really great tool. But then also they can just get in here and watch a lot of stuff, read a lot of things. There's this really great video with Jeff Opportunity Call with him you can listen to. There's info about the products. The entire compensation plan is in here. So they really can get in here and poke around and see what we have to, which is I did want to note one thing. You have someone that's already a customer and has like established spot by purchasing. When they put their back office for the tour, it will create a new spot for them. So it can get a little tricky, especially if you're watching your right legs as to where you want people to fall. You just need to be aware of this. Also, if they're already about like a $20 upgrade to become an affiliate, you can do that in your customer. If you do it through the lease spot, you have to pay the $20. Also going to ask to purchase a pack, which get into getting an executive pack. So just mindful of that. And they really have two options if they've already been a customer. I know Kelsey deal with this, and I actually have two with people in both spots, and I wanted to be and where I wanted them, and so it can be. So just be aware to see people in two places. It's because they're, and now they've taken the back office tour. Just double checking about how this. Okay, here's the other really amazing piece. The company is doing communication with them. So once they get in here, the company has their email and they send them a welcome email about being pre-enrolled, and they give some key features and highlights about what they're doing and then the company and the products. This is going to keep happening. They email them like, the cutoff is coming, don't miss out. And they'll actually tell them how many pre-enrollees and affiliates are already underneath them. And they can do that if they log in. You can see this is talking to my mom here, but if you click on genealogy, it's going to say she already has 2 paid affiliates and 15 pre-enrollees in your team. And they could get in there and actually figure out who they are. But this is powerful. So they can look at it themselves, but then the company is actually sending them emails and keeping them up to date. And as far as I know, they'll continue to get emails until either time runs out, which I think they have 90 days. Otherwise, if they opt out, they can actually opt out. If they've decided not to join, they can stop the process. But this is an incredible tool. Really how I've been doing it is if you have someone that has asked you questions, they want to know more about the business or more about the products, I've offered just and said, hey, we have a free back office tour. If you'd like to give me your email address, I'll get you plugged in. And there's lots of really great information about the company and the products. And then if they understand kind of more of the business, then I'll explain to them how that team is being built underneath them. And that's always an exciting thing. So it's a really awesome tool you should be utilizing, offering it to anyone. I know there was a contest that Kristen and Travis did. I think that was in December, some point in December. Like if you pre-enrolled, you got entered into a drawing. So, I mean, you could have fun with it. You could really offer people a prize or whatever for getting pre-enrolled. But I have found most people are really interested in doing it. So don't be afraid to pull in there. Did I touch on Kelsey?
Yeah, that was awesome. Are you still there, Katie?
I'm still here.
Yeah, some of your stuff, it's blinking out just a little bit. It's all good, but I just wanted to make sure you could still hear me. Yeah, that was amazing. Does anybody have any questions about any of that for Katie? If y'all do, y'all feel free to write them in the chat. And then Katie, if you want to quit screen share, I'm going to show you something that just got rolled out by Home Office that you might be interested in seeing too.
Got it, sorry.
Awesome. Okay, this, can you guys see that? So in the past, you had to actually send people to once somebody was pre-enrolled, you would have to send them to, and you still can, mydailychoice.com, and then they would have to log in under the pre-enrollee thing. Because that's a more complicated process, Home Office actually just rolled out this new website, and it's My HempWorks Spot. So once somebody is pre-enrolled into your system, once they are in there, you can actually, everybody can use the same link, myhempworkspot.com, and all they have to do is scroll down here and put their email address in there, and it will take them straight in. So they don't have to actually do a login process anymore. You can do the login process, but this was the just rolled out by Home Office. So
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that they did this.
oh no, that's totally fun. And I don't even think I've used it yet. So I wanted to make sure that you knew too, because we've had a lot of confusion with people thinking that they needed to add on their affiliate name on that, and you don't. It's all the same as long as people have been pre-enrolled. So
that's just for the login. That's not for the getting
correct.
into it. Okay.
Correct. So the thing that you showed us, like how to go into your back office and go to the website, that is still absolutely still the same, and you have to put your username on there for somebody to get pre-enrolled.
Okay.
But once they are, you can still go through that process, but they tried to basically simplify it so that people aren't getting lost and confused. So
yeah, that makes sense. I just forgot about it.
No, thank you so much, Katie. That was absolutely amazing. Does anybody have any questions? 2 options for a customer. Okay, so you were breaking up a little bit. I'll just clarify here on the customer. When you pre-enroll somebody, they only hold their spot if they upgrade it as an affiliate. If they are not upgrading as an affiliate, they can't actually use that pre-enrolled spot. They will just use your regular link to sign up as a customer, and it still puts them in the tree, but it's not in the spot that they might be locked in as a pre-enrollee. Does that make sense to you guys? Does anybody have any questions about that? All right. I hope that was helpful. Kelsey, do you want to say something? You look like you.
I was going to say too, I think part of what Katie was talking about with that is also if you have somebody who's already purchased, that is going to, as long as they're purchasing every other month as a preferred customer, that's also going to lock their spot in the tree. So maybe they sign up as a pre-enrollee and then they've got 2 spots. So you really just want to take that into account and look at both before they sign up, because one might be more preferable to them or you, or it's just things that you want to consider is that they will actually have 2 spots in your tree.
As a pre-enrollee and as a customer. Gotcha. Right. Lydia, I'm not sure on a spot thing, but I don't know enough to ask. So I know that to some of you guys, this is all going to sound like Greek because you haven't utilized it yet. And that is really why we are launching the Power Hours, so that we can literally walk you through step by step, so that as you're using it, that you don't avoid using it because you don't know, but that we walk you through it and you become familiar with it, and then you will know. So, okay.
There's also, I think you'll also understand more as you learn more about binary. And so if you are still wondering how binary pay works, there are 2 additional fantastic videos within Rockstars. One, they're both in units. One is by Shannalee Hunter and one is by Rhiannon. So that is something worth watching if you don't, because that really helps you understand. But really the pre-enrollee system also just gives third-party credibility, even for somebody wanting to look at products. So if you're able to plug their email in, they get the chance to go look at the products and the opportunity and all of that themselves, and it takes some of that pressure again off of you, which again makes you more duplicatable. So regardless of even the spot, it's just a good tool to have in your pocket to give people a way to look at some of your back office.
Yes, and many times when people say, hey, I would like information, rather than you giving it all to them, just say, hey, let me get your email address and I will get you plugged into some awesome info. And once you get them pre-enrolled, you can send them that myhempworkspot.com and say, when you want to go back in and look at it later, here's the link you're going to use, and just put in your email address, just to make it really simple. Customer wants to upgrade. Yes, yes, she just has to pay the $20 fee. Right. Yes, thank you for that clarification, Katie. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and showing up. We're going to post the images for the schedule for this next week. We're going to give those times a try, and for the next week or two, we'll see how they work and get your feedback. Those are not set in stone forever, because we're going to see how they work and just trial, like I said, trial it out. But our goal is to really kind of come alongside of you and make this really easy for you to plug in your newbies. You don't have to feel like you have to train them and you have to know everything, because the leaders are going to come alongside of every single person that wants this information and give you the step-by-step. So I hope that's helpful to you guys, and I hope that we will see you tomorrow night on the first power hour of the week. You guys have an awesome day. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.